Yo, what up, bitches? Today we're gonna be talking about manhwas. Nope, I misread the script. Hold on. Yo, what up, bitches? Today we're gonna be talking about mangas. And this was kind of a challenge to do because, as you may or may not know, I just moved back to Indonesia 2 weeks ago, and there was a limit to how much manga I could read. Within those options, one of them is about a guy getting a borderline psychopathic mommy, the other manga is about a guy going after his childhood friend's mommy, and the other is about a guy who grew up going after his childhood crush who used to be his teacher/mommy. Also, I read all of Gachi Akura, but nobody wants to hear me talk about that. And I was so close, this close, to just choose any one of these mangas to talk about for the week. But guess who had to be the party pooper and ruin my plans? You. That's right. You guys just can't let me have my fun. Every time I post about the mangas that I'm reading in my Instagram, the comments always go, to be honest, man, sometimes I think that you love MILFs a little too much.
MILFs are overrated. Femdom is the best tag of all time.
Brother, calm down with the MILFs, bro. Oh my gosh, this gimmick of you liking MILFs is getting kind of boring now. Well, boo fucking who? Look at all these residents of Frowntown over here. Just because I like it doesn't mean you guys have to bring me down for wanting to get tender loving care from a beautiful older woman. It's my channel. I should be doing whatever the hell I want. But now, I don't even want to because you guys just had to shit in my pants. So fine, how about this? I'll postpone the mama glaze until the next video, and just for this week, I'm going to actually listen to you guys and talk about a manga that doesn't include MILFs. Just for this week, I'm going to tell you guys about a rom-com manga that I have read within the last 3 hours that is about high schoolers.
This is disgusting.
Okay, so the manga is called I Can't Choose a Childhood Friend, and it's about a guy named Albert who starts off the story with a monologue about how he doesn't like making choices. So he always puts himself in positions where he won't have any of them. He goes to school at just the right time so he won't talk to people. He doesn't take routes where he would have to talk to people. He also makes sure he doesn't get there too early so he won't have to talk to people. Because more friends equals more plans, and more relationships equals more messes. Honestly, I fuck with that 100,000%. So, before he goes to school, he takes a stop in his favorite secret place to wait for the right time to leave, and to also reminisce about what looks like to be his childhood memories of being here with a girl. But lo and behold, when he arrived there, someone else already preoccupied his secret place, and it was a blonde, rich-looking girl who somehow knew about this spot, even though Alberto never told anyone about it. Huh. I wonder who this could be. Anyway, she then starts a conversation, which is probably his biggest nightmare, to which he then responds to the conversation because of course, he may be antisocial, but he's also an anti-asshole. But also, he tries his best to derail the conversation for her to leave every few seconds, which is kind of an asshole thing to do. But the thing is, she's a new student and doesn't know how to get to her new school. So she's like, oh, I know. Why don't you take me to where it is? And he's like, a girl? Holding my hand? Before marriage? Gomenasai. But I have someone I like.
Okay.
This is the type of guy who would think a cashier is flirting with them just because she smiled at him. So anyways, now the manga decides to go to a flashback of his childhood memories with the blonde girl we saw a glimpse of, who is totally not the girl that we just saw. He used to have this really sweet and kind girl as his bestie, but as she was about to leave and move to another country, city, I don't know, they didn't tell me. He was like, Chotto mate! And she's like, what am I supposed to say here? Don't go? But she has to go home. I can't do anything about that. It was fun. See you later? Later when? I don't want to lie.
Well, I'm going then.
Oh. Sokka. I liked her. Revealing to us that the reason he doesn't like making choices is because he's not good at making them. Alright, let's fast forward a bit to the part where they find out that they are each other's childhood friends, which was, wow, crazy. Who could have seen that coming? Machihashi Karen! That's the name of the person I've liked for 10 years. Albert? Yeah, it's me, Obama. And they immediately got mushy with each other and he went for a kiss? I'm sorry, what the fuck? This is the same guy who didn't want to hold someone's hand just because they're a girl, but once he finds out that she meets his requirements, he immediately makes out with her? What a man slut. But yeah, after praying to the gods of wishing to reuniting with Karin again, he cried tears of joy because he finally gets his wish granted after 10 years of getting nothing. Which is pretty sweet. I don't mind that. And I was like, oh nice. They become a couple within the first chapter, which means we don't have to wait for the bullshit cliche of will they, won't they, because the main couple already know how much they actually like each other. They also ran and got to school on time, which was guarded by a guy who wanted to lock them out for some reason. And the chapter starts ending with her coming in as the new transfer student in class.
Oh my god, this is really happening. What I've dreamed about. It's real! Going to high school with the girl I love!
Yo, what up, bitches?
Nice to meet ya. My name is Machihashi Karin.
Eh? Okay, so at first Karin's like, what the heck? And the second Karin's like, what the flip? And the first Karin told Albertano that the second Karin is lying about herself and is trying to impersonate her. And he's like, well, why would she do that? And she's like, I don't fucking know. Why do pedos do pedo shit? Maybe she's just weird. Also, maybe she's trying to take you from me for herself. And he's like, come on. Do you think I'm Justin Bieber? I'm not that hot. But a few seconds later, he runs into her like, hey. And he's like, hey. And then she went, OMG, long time no see, girly. And starts fucking motorboating him. Damn, bro, I guess you are that hot. And he's like, bro, how do you even know it's me? And she said, oh, cause you have the same name as the childhood friend that I was in love with. Yeah, but some people are also named Michael Jackson. Doesn't mean they're actually Michael Jackson. And she said, well, hey, if I get it wrong, at least it'd be funny. Ma'am, hands off the merchandise. Then the first Karin's like, Machinasai! Oh, what the fuck? Stay away from my boy toy, harlot. Harlot? What are you, 40? You're imposing as me! Huh? Nuh-uh. I'm totally Machihashi Karin like...
Stop. I'm not interested in arguing with a whore.
Fuck did you just say? Okay guys, how about this? During my time of playing with Karin, we both kept the same charms together. So, if you don't have it, then you can't be Oh, what the fuck?
Wait, you're real?
That's what I'm saying! Arda, don't just trust this bitch! Okay then, when did you first meet Alabama? 10 years ago? Where did you always hang out? At a secret place that is not so secret because it's on top of a hill? The fuck? How do you know all these answers? Because I'm Karin! Okay fine, one last thing then. Oh my god. We have the same Omanko. Then boom, the charm that only Karin and Albertina could have suddenly woke up and started speaking to them. And he said,
Alright guys, let me clear the room. You're both the same person. You just got split into multiple parts of yourself because this dumbass wished to see you so many times that it ended up making a multiple of you. However, you can only spend time with one person, so you must make a choice. Choose the Karin which you will be with. Whoever you do not choose will disappear. You have until school to decide. See you later, losers.
what the fuck is even happening anymore? So cool, this should be pretty easy, right? He already established a relationship with the first Karin despite only having a 1 hour advantage over the other Karin. But the thing is, he would feel extremely guilty if one were to get booted out of existence, so he starts feeling sad. And during those moments of sadness is when a new Karin came around and cheered him up, which immediately reminded him of all of the good times he's had with her when they were still children. And that's when he realized, oh, she's the same Karin that I know. Well, of course, they're the same person. Wait, they're the same person. Oh, I guess that does make sense. So the manga series continues with a daily slice of life rom-com with our boy falling in love with both sides of his childhood friend, where they get up to shenanigans, romantics, and extremely exaggerated comedy to the point of absurdity. And this is one thing I never expected. I actually think this manga is hilarious. For context, I'm watching Gintama right now, and ever since starting it, I haven't been able to laugh as much with other shows because that anime has made me laugh so hard that it's ruined my sense of comedy for other media. But this is one of the few where the plot is so absurd that I can't help but just laugh. But it's not like laughing at bad writing. The author intentionally makes the plot so ridiculous so you can just let yourself go and have fun with it. And it also helps that the characters here are extremely charming. For one, Alabama is a comforting main character to follow around. A good way to make your rom-com main character more likable is by simply making him very loving towards the heroines. Take Rentaro from 100 Girlfriends for example. We love him as a main character because he has all of these cute reactions and expressions to loving all of his girlfriends. And same goes for Alucard. He shows off his excessive amounts of love towards his girls without it coming off as a creep or simpy. He is just like Rentaro minus the godly powers. But it's just that except for the girls, plural, they're all actually one girl, singular, which at least in my opinion makes it a little more romantic in contrast to a mansion full of other completely different women. Because if he were to love both of them, it's the same as saying he loves both sides of the same person. Wait, I just thought of something. If they were to have a threesome, wouldn't that count as self-cess? God, I really hate my brain sometimes. Anyways, I did my job in selling the manga. If I go any further, I'm gonna have to go into spoiled territory, which I am not interested in doing. But for those of you who have read the manga, I'll say this. Gal Karen is the best girl. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules, but come on. Princess Karen has had way more time than her, but Gal Karen only used like 30 minutes to make Al Pacino fall in love with him. Like, that's fucking crazy. He's a better man than me, bro. Like, I'm not saying I'd let the other die, but let's just say there is gonna be some clear favoritism inside the household. Now I'm gonna talk a bit about the girls, and believe it or not, this part of the video is gonna have to be marked as spoiler territory, so skip this timestamp if you want to read it for yourself. You have been warned. Okay, here we go. I think apart from Gal Karen, I'm not really a big fan of any of the other girls. For example, later on in the manga, we get a third and fourth Karen to come out, and the fourth Karen is fucking annoying. It's not like the other girls where I just feel neutral about them, since sometimes I like them, sometimes they're whatever, but this one just rubs me the wrong way. A lot of the shit that she spews out got my eye rolling, and a tiny bit of my irritation starts boiling. But what I've noticed is, that's the point. She is supposed to be annoying. Which I know sounds very basic, especially when she started out as an antagonist, but what I love is that the entire idea of the manga is how one boy falls in love with each different sides of his childhood crush, good or bad. And it is especially apparent when he confessed to the third Karen. He deadass called her a pain in the ass. But that's what makes it so good. I may not like the other girls as much as Gyaru Karen, but I do like seeing the guy liking all personalities of Karen. And because of it, I wouldn't want any of them to leave, because without them, the main character wouldn't be complete. This rom-com works solely because of the main character. If it wasn't for him, this would just be a basic slice of life manga that I read for 3 chapters and drop within the drop of a hat. But just seeing him interact and have rom-com storylines with all of these girls, who are actually all just one person, is pretty cool. And not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever seen it in other rom-coms, so I gotta give it extra points for that. This manga is currently one of my favorite rom-coms to read right now. The characters are cool, the art is pretty sick with how cartoony it looks at times, the plot is ridiculous, the romance is cute, and the comedy is pretty damn nice. So I'ma give I Can't Choose a Childhood Friend a solid 8 out of 10. Hey guys, before we end this video, I just want to plug my Instagram real quick, as well as my Twitter and my Twitch, because I am planning to stream soon, where I haven't decided what to stream yet, but I have some pretty good ideas on what I'd like to show. And if you don't like using Twitch, then you can also catch my streams in this YouTube channel. And so, you know, hurry up and subscribe so I can get some money. Also check out my Patreon. I kinda got trapped by how cheap everything is in Indonesia that I ended up spending on a lot, including stuff that I probably don't even need. Anyways, bye bye!